not sure if y'all can... The text is a little small. But yeah, the premise of this game is it is a root tree-like, where a decent part of it is also language puzzle. Like, many of the words are in Trevosan, and I don't know what that means. This can be like a little quieter. That would also be okay. Hope root tree-like becomes a bigger genre. True. The comparison I heard was if you combined root trees with Chants of Sinar, you would get a game like this. Which, honestly, I would play games like that for the rest of my life. That would be fantastic. But yeah, this game is in browser, so this is what I've got. And then this is how to play, presumably, over here on the side. This collection of peculiar documents appears to be the records of a kingdom called Trevosa. The material has been translated where possible, but some cultural terms could not be translated. Try searching foreign terms or names in order to fill in the family tree. As you investigate these documents, keep in mind a larger question: who are these people and where do they come from? All right, I am going to change the stream title real quick. And I think this just has to go into games and projects, or games and demos. But that's what we'll do. All right, so yeah, welcome to the Archives of Trevosa. Having read this particular note here, y'all now know as much as I do. So let's start looking at some more notes. To the great Solam. I don't know what a Solam is. I am Ludir Oloth Til of Oreleth Sino Tayen of Trevosa. If the signal has reached you, the situation is dire. The dreadful Nisket lies in wait to destroy, and Thiwe look to the Solam for an omen. Who is the true heir, not hair. But a decision should never be made in ignorance, even for a Solam. I have sent you all of the Tiseti. Please learn of our Varelin, all the way back to Estin Orvet Sinai Til. Learn the rules of succession, and let your voice silence the Vaiteth who wish for chaos. Let your omen bring us peace. So each of these terms are words in Trevosan, and if I am understanding this correctly, one can click a word, and it will search for that word, and bring up documents that contain that word. For example, threatening note. Biset Savol, have you forgotten about me already? I hear the music and din of your nightly varve. So much for your Bear Vat and her era of temperance. Okay, so it sounds like I need to be taking notes here on what I think words mean. Solam, probably wise person? Elder? Seems likely. In fact, we should probably just start from that original note, the signal. Filter. Show undiscovered hints. Oh, right, yeah. So, I found threatening note by searching for Solam. And the note to translator also just exists here, and I can search for Trevosa. And these are the ones that I have looked at, and this is what I have found off of my most recent search. And I can see that the ones marked with red, I guess, are ones that I haven't looked at yet. Okay. Archive. 3 of 49. Great. Great. So each of these are tagged with something, right? Yoret, Estin, Tamoth. Trevosa, Varellin. Varellin appears to be related to family tree. Learn of our Varellin. Genealogy? Royals? Royalty? Ludir is probably a name. Oloth Till. I see Till here in a couple of places. This is Sinai Till, Sinai Vol, Sino Yen, Sino Lay, Sinai, Sinai, Sino. And there are titles and names. Not a lot of names, but a lot of titles. Interesting. Everybody has the same name? Ludir, Oloth Till of Oreleth Sino Tayen of Trevosa. Is there a Sinai Till? Back to Estin Orvet Sinai Till. Estin, Orvet, Sinai Till. So they're in Orvet, is what I am hearing. Estin, Tamoth, Yoret. So these are three things that are kind of categorized here. Oh, this is real. There's a lot going on here. Okay. And presumably, it doesn't ever translate stuff in the documents. I just have to know what these words mean. And I can use this to find documents. Okay. Oloth Till. Till Vol Yen Lay Ta'il Ta'a Ta'avol Ta'ayen. You can also see that all of these with these tags down here have crowns. So maybe that indicates that they were, you know, like there's always going to be a lot of people in the family tree that don't end up actually being, you know, the emperor or empress or queen or king or whatever. Estin. Oh, cool. There's a button to go back and forth. That's convenient. It's all right. Mouse wheel is also convenient enough. I am Ludir, Oloth Till of Oreleth Sino Ta'ayen of Trevosa. So, Sino Ta'ayen is no. Ludir is the Oloth Till of Oreleth Sino Ta'ayen. So this one is an Oreleth. Oreleth Sino Ta'ayen. Oloth Till is... Does Till show up here? Till? Till shows up here. Oloth. Oloth is parent, maybe? Who is the true heir? Wow, what do these dotted lines mean? Godparent or something? Yoret, Estin, Tamoth. I don't know what any of that means either. Okay. Oreleth Sino Ta'ayen. Nisket lies in wait to destroy. Thing that destroys. And Vive, look to the Solam for an omen. Vive, the people? Maybe. I've sent you all of the Tisete, which is probably like documents. I'm gonna note just every single word here. Tisete. Documents. Learn of our Varelen, Trevosa Varelen, probably family tree or genealogy. Varelen. Neology. I definitely know how to spell that word. Estin Orvet, Sinai Till. Learn the rules of succession and let your voice silence the Viteth who wish for chaos. Viteth. Wish for chaos. Dissenters, maybe? Alright, the signal is fully read. How do I unmark this? Oh, there we go. Beset Civil, have you forgotten about me already? Beset. Is that a name? Beseet is a name. It says Beseet. Beseet is a name. Beseet is a name. Orvet is a name. Ludir is a name. Beseet, Ludir, Orvet, and Oreleth. Oreleth. Did this mention Oreleth? Yes, Oreleth Sino Ta'ayen. Cool. Sivol. We've seen Vol here. Ta'avol. Tilvol Yen Lei. Ta'ail. Ta'a. Ta'ail. Ta'avol. Ta'ayen. So the next one presumably would be Ta'ale. So maybe that's counting? Maybe that's counting. Till, Vol, Yen, Lei. Ta'a. Ta'a'il. Is it Ta'avol? It is Ta'avol. Ta'ayen. So Sevol would presumably be another counting word? I feel like this should just be ill instead of till, but what do I know? Sevol. Beseet Sevol, have you forgotten about me already? I hear the music and din of your nightly varve. Varve. Parties? So much for your bare Vate and her era of temperance. Bare Vate. Descriptor for a person. Yes, even in the field of beasts of my exile, I can hear them. I am not so far away as you think. At night, when the Salam go up to the heights, I am closer than they are. You may have forgotten your kin at your Taber to Orvet Sinai Till, but we have not forgotten about you. Tamoth Varelin. Taber, at your Taber. Bear Vate here, Taber. So there might be some root words that we can potentially figure stuff out based off of. As long as a true member of Tamoth Varelin is breathing. Tamoth Varelin. Trevosa will not be safe. Interesting. I'm gonna lower that again just one little bit. It's not bad. I appreciate the ambiance, but it's a little invasive. Something about the pitch of the notes, I think. I don't know what it is, but it seems like it shouldn't be that invasive at that volume level, and it's really... Alright, we have looked at 3 notes. So this also says Salam in it. No, I have not forgotten you, Leavoth. I remember your ambition. I remember your bitterness. I remember your cruelty. Stepped on by a Salam. Only the first 3 results are returned. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's a little bit of, what was that game? Her Story. A little bit of Her Story in here. Leavoth. Maybe an appellation? Or insult? From one of the many Beseets. Oh. This is directly like a conversation between them. So this is like a response to this. So much for your bare Vate and her era of temperance. Is there one here that's like something the temperate? There is a the temperate. Even in the field of beasts of my exile. Can I look up field of beasts? No. Search for Trevosan words or names. Okay. Teach you and my former kin humility. Taber. I don't know if the bear here and bear Vate are the same. In season 90, amidst the devastation of the Fa'anat War, or no, that's a new word. Yoret Tyrael Beelan. Yoret? Whoa, now we know more words. Sartina and Tyrael are names. Oh, God. Okay, so we only had a limited number of names because that was all the names that we knew. And now that we know more names... I see. I see. Okay, so there was a Yoret Tyrael Beelan. One of the Yorets is a Tyrael. A list of names is maybe not necessary. But there is an unaccounted for Yoret Tyrael. Yoret Tyrael Beelan. Beelan is not one of these things, so that might have been the title, Beelan? Came down with a sickness that took their life. Their last interpretation of an Solam omen was as follows. The Oloth Obrau. We had an Oloth Till. We had an Oloth Till. The Oloth Obrau of exiles will win and reign, but their Oleth someday will lose. Oloth and Oleth might be like parent-child? This is real neat. Their prophecy gave little comfort to their Bervot, the Sino-Yen. Bervot, not Bervate. Or their Oleith, Yoret Sartina. Their Bervot, the Sino-Yen. Or their Oleith, Yoret Sartina. Okay, so Oleith is also a relationship name. Bervate and Bervot are probably both relationship names. And then there's also Oleith here. And Taber might also be in the same vein. Apparently somebody can get stepped on by a Solam. Unclear if Taber is also in this same vein as all of this bear stuff. There is a Yoret Sartina. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be here. Right? So, like, my guess is this is Yoret Sartina. The prophecy gave little comfort to their Bervot, the Sino-Yen. Which is maybe what the dotted line means? And that would... No. Yoret Tyrael Beelan. Came down with a sickness that took their life. So that must be here. Yoret Tyrael Beelan. Their Bervot, the Sino-Yen. Or their Oleith, Yoret Sartina. So this would be Sartina, and this would be Tyrell. And if I ever find out what Beelan means, that maybe this is their title, Beelan? That could be. All right, so we've looked up some things. Let's see if Beelan means anything that we can find. Ah, the Sino Yen. The 74th season began with both a Varve Taber and Varve Sinve. Oh, jeez. Varve, we've seen before. So now we have a Varve Taber and Varve Sinve? Varve Sinve. All of which are individual words. But we've seen this construction now. Yoret Lemot. Now, Yoret Lemot Sino Yen. Ah, Sino Yen is Yoret Lemot. Took Yoret Tyrell, now Yoret Tyrell Beelan, to be his bear vet. Wife? Okay, so we have Yoret Lemot, Sino Yen, and Yoret Tyrell. Yoret Tyrell Beelan. And if we look at the relationships that we saw here, little comfort to their bear Vot, the Sino Yen. Okay, so bear Vot might be husband. Which would make Oleith. Ah, this is also a Yoret. So that would make you Tyrell, and you Yoret Sartina, Oleith. Daughter? Oleith with an A. Oh no. Where did we see... Oleith. Oleith with an A. Your Taber to Orvet Sinai Till. Oloth. Oreleth Sino Tayen. Sure. Ludir. Oloth Till. Orelith and Orvet are names. Ludir is a name. Orelith is a name. Orvet is a name. Ooh, this is gonna take some work. May he reign with the temperance of his Talai Obrow and the peaceableness of his Talo Obrow. There's temperance and peaceableness. So one of these is the peaceable. There's the temperate. The peaceable. Yep. So that's talking about this guy, the Sino-Yen. Tala Obrao. Talai Obrao. Which is like maybe grandparents? Talai Obrao. Talo Obrao. My face is in the way. Stupid face, get out of here. We'll hide in the corner. If I filter here for like some of these words, it can show me. And then also I can set bookmarks if I want to. Where is Obrao here? Oloth Obrao. Oloth and Oleth. Yet another form of relationship. Oloth Obrao. So maybe Obrao is like grand, whatever it is. Like, if Oloth is parent, then Obrao could be like, Oloth Obrao could be grandparent. Talai Obrao, Talo Obrao could be like grand aunt or whatever. I don't know. There is a lot here. And I still have no idea what Beelan means. Other than it is a title of Yoret Tyrell. To promote peace amongst the three great families, a joint royal family will be founded. Okay, so Yoret, Estin, and Tamoth are probably all family names. Estin Varellin and Tamoth Varellin will be the Sinai Till and Belon, while Yoret Varellin will provide the Belen to the first heir. So presumably these three founding Concord. A joint royal family will be founded. Estin Varellin and Tamoth Varellin will be the Sinai Till and Belon, while Yoret Varellin will provide the Belen to the first heir. Sinai Till and Belon. Belon is title there? Some title? While Yoret Varellin will provide the Belen to the first heir. 74th season. Varve Tabir, Varve Sinve. Nope! Still don't know what any of that is. Tyrell. Now you're at Tyrell Belen. Sure don't know what all of these lines mean. Interesting. So, if these are all family names, then we have an Estin and a Tamoth, and all of their kids are Estins, following the mother's family name. This man's presumably kid directly is a Yoret. So this is, again, now it's an Estin and a Yoret, and their presumably kid is also a Yoret. You don't have a family name? Odd. It's not green. It's not purple. It's not blue. Yeah, it just doesn't have a family name. Let's see. Here, their child is a Yoret. Here, their child is an Estin. Their child is a Tamoth. Their child is also a Tamoth. Their child is an Estin. So as long as this is like husband, wife, child, which would be my guess, the family name, they take the mother's family name. Unclear what these dotted lines mean, though. Maybe that's when someone provides the Bilen, because we definitely know what that means. Yoret Tyrael Bilen, the Seer. Oh. The Seer. And Bear Vet of Yoret Lemot Sino Yen. Yes. Offered the following powerful interpretation of a colorful omen on a line flying in the distant sky. The exiles will return when one of our own turns Viteth. Viteth is probably traitor. One we call Varelen will open the great threshold, and devastation will follow. Varelen means family. Varelen just means family. So these are the first 3 documents that show up with Bilen in them. But if I look for Bilen here, I can see that Bilen is in at least 4 documents, including war and sickness. Because Yoret Tyrael Bilen came down with a sickness that took their life. Okay, what if we look for Tyrael? It's not the same 4 documents. This is a document with Tyrael that doesn't say Bilen. In a most tragic accident, while hunting furry masket in the crevices, masket is an animal of some kind, a vicious fanged Efsket attacked and killed the Sinai Vole. Efsket. Efsket. Also an animal of some kind. So Nisket, presumably also an animal of some kind. It has that same sket to it. Estin Ta'al will be remembered as a caring Talai to all of Trevosa. Sinai Vole. Estin Ta'al? Caring Talai. Talai is here. We have Talai Obrau. So we've also seen just Talai on its own. Estin Corvin, per the laws of succession, would be Sino Yen. Estin Corvin, probably this guy? Estin Ta'al isn't confirmed the Sinai Vol, but it seems likely because of the way this is paired. But has announced that instead he will host the Varve Sinve in one season's time with his Oleth Til Yoret Lemot. Declared sign with his Oloth Til Yoret Lemot declared Sino Yen, following his Taber to Yoret. Taber is wedding. Which makes Bear Vet or whatever make more sense. Okay. Will host the Varve Sinve in one season's time with his Oloth Til Yoret Limot. And we think that Oloth Til is probably the firm line, which would make this guy Estin Corvin. Hang on. Oloth Til. Oloth Til of Oreleth Sino to Ayen. Ah. So Ludir is probably this idiot. Sent you all of the Tisite. Learn of Arvarellen all the way back to Estin Orvet Sinai Til. Learn the rules of succession, and let your voice silence the Vaiteth who wish for chaos. Hey, Inkling, yeah, there is some similarity here. It is a trying to figure out genealogy based on documents. There's a lot of similarity to her story in terms of finding new documents, which I think is where Root Trees kind of came up. Yeah, so Root Trees and her story kind of doing the same thing, right? Searching based on keywords to find new documents in order to give you information about who's related to who. And this also has a foreign language thing going on. So you're trying to piece together what the language means while looking through documents that are partially written in that language. So, like, the starting thing that we got was this: to the great Solam, I am Ludir, Oloth Til of Oreleth Sino Ta'ayen of Trevosa. So it's like, what does that mean? I don't know yet. We're figuring it out. And I have taken some notes. Sinai, Sinai, Sino, Sino, Sinai, Sinai. Yeah, we got 3 genders? That's kind of sick. Because this title seems like it is gendered for royalty. In addition to these counting words. Sine, Sino, Sinai. Death of Estin Ta'al. Do we have any more information about Estin Ta'al? Let's see if we can find Ta'al. Oh, lots of information about Ta'al. Orvet Sinai Till. Oh, yes, we know that. Decreed that Olil of Yoret Varelin shall be the Calcerom of her Oleth, Bashiel, Corvin, and heir Ta'al. Oleth might be Bashiel. Oh, so this is Bashiel. Her Oleth, children. Oleth is child or children. Okay, yeah. Olil of Yoret Varelin. Is Olil a name? Olil is a name. Yoret shall be the Calcerom. Maybe, okay, so dotted lines is Calcerom? Calcerom. Dotted lines? Vitsanai Till decreed that Olil of Yoret Varelin. Yeah. So this is Olil. As Calcerom, Olil shall be a protector and Tale Sevol, if not by blood, to the three. Tale Sevol. This is not the first time we've seen Sevol. Where have we seen Sevol? Beseet Sevol, have you forgotten about me already? Okay. Did I write down Sevol anywhere? I didn't. Sevol. Dependent. Person to be protected. If not by blood to the three. Considering Olil's Oleath Till Selde and her close friendship with Corvin, the story of Yoret Varelin, the family Yoret, will be intertwined with the future of Trevosa for generations to come. Okay, great. First, Calcerem. Calcerem and Calcerom? Calcerom. Calcerem. Alright. We want to come back to this because Tal is interesting, but Calcerem. Nope. Calcerom. Interesting. Okay. Shield, Corvin, and Air Tal. Maybe that's just a typo. Or maybe it says Calcerom and I can't read. Whatever. Oleath Till. Oleath Till implies firstborn? Oloth implies son, actually. So Oloth Obrau might be grandson? Okay. To Bashil. Your absence at my Varve Taber was much appreciated. Wow. Okay, so Varve is some kind of party. Taber we know is wedding. And the other place where we saw Varve, we've seen several different Varves. Where did I think Beseet was? Did I figure that out? I don't have Beseet down anywhere. You may have forgotten your kin at your Taber, your wedding to Orvet Sinai Till. Oh. So this is Beseet. So much for your Bervate and her era of temperance. So she's the temperate? So who's the exile here? May have forgotten your kin. Which would be the other Tamoth, right? So that's this idiot. Right, you are Taber to Orvet, but we have not forgotten about you. I vow, so long as a true member of Tamoth Varellan is breathing, Trevosa will not be safe. So Trevosa is specifically the union of these three families. True member of Tamoth Varellan. Okay, and the threatening note in the letter to the exile is the response, right? I have not forgotten about you, Leavoth. I have a new title to live up to, and it is incompatible with what our family has stood for. Where did we see here? May he reign with the temperance of his Talai Obrau, which would be grandmother, and the peaceableness of his Talo Obrau. So peaceable? Hey! It locked in! Got 3 right. Cool, and it changes the text of the names a little bit, so you can see that it's locked in. That's good. And Tyrell is locked in. Fantastic. All right, all right. Okay, so which is which? Temperance of his Talai Obrau. So Talai would be grandmother. Sinai, Talai. So I is maybe a female ending. And Talo Obrau would be grandfather. And we saw Talay somewhere. Talay Savol. So maybe Talay, like Sine, is 3rd gender? Whatever the 3rd gender is here? How easy is it to tell if somebody is 3rd gendered? Maybe not very. Just going by looks. If that is even how it is depicted. Could be. Shall be a protector and Talesavol. Hopefully these are now removed. Yeah, Temperate's gone. Okay. The Talai Ta'al. So Talai is maybe mother? All right. Anyway, back to this one. Your absence at my Varvey to Bear was much appreciated. To Bashiel. Who in Trevosa will wonder why the Oleath Till of Orvet Sinai Till was missing from Ta'al and Limal's Varvey to Bear? Surely no one. No one will ask why Bashiel was off on an expedition, chasing Yefsket, or whatever it is you do. Your Levaith. Is Levaith sibling? Levaith. What else did I see with Levoth? Ah, Levoth could be brother, like Olaf and Olyth. So Levoth. Insult. Maybe not. Okay. So now we have Levoth. Brother? And Levaith as sister? So this is Ta'al and Bashiel. Your absence at my wedding party was much appreciated. Who in Trevosa will wonder why the firstborn daughter of Queen Orvet was missing from Tal and Limal's wedding party? Surely no one. No one will ask why Bashiel was off on an expedition chasing Yefsket or whatever it is you do. Yes, I will be Sinai Voza Queen someday. It was not up to me. These are the rules of succession. Is it always youngest? The rules of succession. There's nowhere else where there's more than one. I guess here there's siblings. Yoret Lemot is born. Where is Lemot? That's here. Yoret Selde and Estin Corvin welcomed their long-awaited Oloth to their Virelin. Named Yoret Lemot, he is the first Oleth. So Oleth is gender neutral. Born of this generation. Estin Bashiel was named Calcerame. Ah, yeah, the dotted lines. Dotted lines is Calce whatever. Calcerame would be... call it godmother, I guess? Calcerom would be godfather, and Calcerem would be godparent. Figuring it out. It's all coming together. Both Estin Bashiel and her Levaith, yep, Estin Ta'al Sinai Vol, congratulated the couple and were eager to meet their Salot. That's a new one. So this would be Calcerem, Calcerom, Calcerame, and Calcerem. So this would be wedding party. F-sket, masket, there's yef-sket also. Look at all these different kinds of animals. All right, so Tyrael's been figured out. But was marked as Belen. What does Belen mean? What have we found with Belen in it? Yoret Varellan will provide the Belen to the first heir. Yoret Tyrael Belen. Now Yoret Tyrael Belen. Bervet. Bervet is spouse. Because we've seen Belen and Belon. So I think that's also gendered. Like the E's, the O's, and the EIs or AIs. Where did I see Oleath with an E? I haven't seen Oleath with an E. I just wrote it down for no reason. Interesting. Bervet. Where do they say bear? Bervate AIT. I think I might have been saying Bervate and thinking it was spelled EIT. I think I might have done this multiple times. I think that's not a thing. So like with this other stuff, AI is female. O is male. And E is neutral. I think that's where we've gotten. So that's why we have a sine here. This is a gender neutral descriptor for a royal instead of king or queen. So we have Talai is probably mother. Talo would be grandfather, and Tale would be no, Talo would be father, and Tale would be parent. Have we seen Tale more than once? We saw it once here. Tale Civol, if not by blood. Still not sure what Civol means. We've also seen it here as like a... Here, that's between these two. Interesting. So interesting. So much going on. Salot. Literally only shows up in this document. Both Estin Bashil and her Levaith, Estin Ta'al, congratulated the couple and were eager to meet their Salot. Salot is probably like nephew, so Salite, yup, is a thing, and Salet might also be a thing, but Salite is probably niece. Bashil's journey on the exile Telai. I will record her name here in my journal, Tamoth Telai. My Talos, Salate, niece. Talo would be dad, so this would be Telai. Bashil's journey on the exile Telai. On my expedition across the arid lands, I met the most unlikely of travelers, my Talos Selate, on an expedition of her own. Still the Olaeth Till of a traitor and an exile, her story of our Varellan was twisted and poisoned. But regardless of the lies she had been taught, she had a kind heart and spoke of contentment with her life in the field of beasts. She was not interested in reconciliation, only the rations I had available to trade. Perhaps she will not be remembered in our Tiseti documents, I think. But she lives a life so much simpler than my own. I envy her. I would rather be forgotten to history than beholden to its expectations. I pray all the exiles will likewise be complacent with their lot in life. Cool. Wow, okay, so this is the first time that I've felt like, oh, I understand what's going on. This was really thrilling to be like, oh yeah, I figured it out. We have this word that's gendered, so if I take if I change it in this particular way, it'll mean the other gender, and thus I can use that as a search term. That's so hot. I'm having fun here. Rejection of adopted heir. The fact of the matter is, dear sister, is Thieve, I don't know what Thieve is, do not respect your Laeth, would be daughter, Caldosa. What's more, I may call her Selate, Estin Corvin. Dear sister. So this is Ta'al's kid? Caldosa? What's more, I may call her Selate, but she is not of our blood, and succession rules are not merely suggestions. I have an heir. You do not have a suitable heir. You and I know that Limot must be the Sino Yen to maintain order. Save your Varellan dishonor and cease fighting against it. Wow, lucky that it's the part of the family tree that I know. Oh, Caldosa's adopted? She is not of our blood. But what about this idiot, the Tamoth? Oh yeah, she doesn't have a family. She's not Estin because she's adopted. Okay, sure, that makes sense. Okay, what else? Let's see if Beseet shows up. Beseet shows anything new. Archive created. Orvet, Sinai Till, and Beseet Belon. Belon is maybe spouse? In this case, Belon would be the male version of spouse to the queen? Okay, so Belon, presumably Belen, and Belane is Spouse to... Spouse to royalty. Spouse to the sin, whatever the sin is. Oh, Synthé! Synthe's gotta be a coronation! This has gotta be a coronation. Okay, so let me finish reading through this, but then we gotta see if Bilane and Bilon and Bilen are all different words. Orvet Sinai Till and Besit Bilon became Bilen by becoming married to the Sino, yes. Decreed the creation of the Tisite. So archives, I guess? All important writings, decrees, and prophecies of all Sine of Trevosa shall be recorded for future generations, that all may reflect upon the glory and dignity of those who have come before. The collection will be managed by Olil the curator, Calcerom to the Oleth of Orvet and Besit. Olil the curator, okay, who has a keen interest in preserving historic writings. Oh, that's relevant. Okay, so we have Bilen. We've seen all of those. If we look for Bilon, there's a new thing there. And if we look for Bilane, hell yes, it worked. All right, the system works. After the usurpation by the heir of beasts, the crown passed to his Oleth, Tamoth Nyrene Sine Ta'a. Well, that's this. Nyrene. So this is the heir of beasts? Good heavens. Crown passed to his Oleth. Oleth, yeah, gender neutral, yep. Tamoth Nyrene Sine Ta'a. They had a great vision for Trevosa, but their ideas were so wildly impractical and caused so much chaos that they were deposed after only a few seasons. Every Varellan of Trevosa, their own included, colluded for them to be exiled. Echoing the founding, Estin Amath was declared as Sinai Ta'il. Estin Amath. And Yoret Yaron as Bilon, yep. Yaron. Their return to tradition was blessed and the era of plenty began. I want to be able to, like, write notes here, era of plenty. Oh, this game is good. This game is good. Dang. Alright, let's check Bilane. The great threshold is open. Take your Fa'anat army and march into the kingdom. Fa'anats. Did I write that down? I feel like I've seen that before. Yeah, Fa'anat here. In season 90, amidst the devastation of the Fa'anat War, Yoret Tyrael Bilen, queen, came down with a sickness that took their life. Ah, Bilen. E for gender neutral. Came down with a sickness that took their life. Their last interpretation of a Salam omen was as follows. The Oloth Obrau of exiles will win and reign. Which is here. This is the line of exiles. Oloth Obrau of exiles, grandson of exiles, will win and reign, but their Oleth someday will lose. Yeah, alright. Season 90, amidst the devastation of the Fa'anat War. Which is presumably how this person became Sinole, is the army of Fa'anat. The Great Threshold is open. Take your Fa'anat army and march into the kingdom. Claim the title of Sinole. So long as my Oleath Till becomes Belane, I welcome the invasion. Oh? So this is either Ta'al or Lamal betraying the kingdom and allowing other people in because they want their daughter to reign. So long as my Oleath Till becomes Belane, I welcome the invasion. Jeez. No matter what Thive. Where is it here? Why doesn't it bold it? I feel like it should bold it here the same way that it does in these things. Thive do not respect your Oleath Till. Thive is here also, right? Thive look to the Solam. Thive is like the court, the everybody. A collection of people. Some collection of people. Wow. Tamoth Nolveth, conqueror of Trevosa, and heir of beasts, that's this guy, was officially recognized as Sinole by Estin Varellin, and Yoret Varellin as a Tamoth. Of course, Tamoth would recognize him instantly in season 95. In the same season, Tamoth Nolveth Sinole announced his intent to name Caldosa as his Bear Vate and Belane. Her family connections, even though they are adoptive rather than blood, lent validity to his reign over Trevosa. Caldosa's Talo, Lemal, expressed that Estin Ta'al Sinai Vol would be pleased to see her Oleath as a ruler. Yep. Yoret Solil Belane, Bearvate of my Levoth. Don't worry about feeling lost. Estin Arna. Oh, this is the part of the family tree I don't know anything about. I don't know who any of these people are. Solil Belane. Bearvate, wife of my Levoth brother. Wife of my brother. So that would be here, maybe? Let's look at Yorets that are married to Sinos or Sines. There's only one Sine. So it's probably this girl. Because we have all of the others kind of figured out at this point, right? It's Yaron. This one, maybe. Bearvate of my Levoth, but there needs to be a sibling there. So here. Levoth. Yes. So this would be Arna. And this would be Solil. Don't worry about feeling lost. Each of our Leveth siblings are shining so brightly that there is no way for us to eclipse them. Focus instead on what you want. I have embraced my role as the Royal Rider. Hey! Get locked in, idiots! And devote my energy to making sure everyone who wants to can ride Masket and venture forth into the world. Masket. Some kind of riding animal, apparently. Rideable animal. I have heard your gifts of song. And some in the palace refer to you as one of the singing great birds. So maybe her role is something related to song, the songbird? Anything else that says song here? Music? The clipped wings. Oh dear. We'll just put her as songbird for now. Some in the palace refer to you as one of the singing great birds. Embrace your talents and show us what you can do, unburdened by conventional expectations. Cool. Let's find out more about... did I get what I wanted out of Bilon? I did. Okay. Let's find out more about Solil. Note to my Oloth o brow. Fascinating. Yeah, I might, this is not supposed to be that long, Darkstar, so I might just keep this going. We might just be really tired tomorrow. Dearest Roal. Okay. We have a name. With your upcoming to bear to Solil, I thought I would offer you some perspective from my old age. To my Oloth o brow. So this would be grandchild. This would be from Limot. This would be Limot writing a letter to Roal. Before the era of plenty, some important weddings took place in troubled times. Your Talai, mother. Sinai to Aiel, yep. Never had a true wedding party. Instead, she had a small party with only their closest family in attendance. I remember how Yaron stood a full head above everyone else. He was hard to miss. Remember that you can find joy in any occasion. Your mother had no idea what life had in store for her, and now she's restored Trevosa to its former glory. Royal Varellan obituary. We mourn the death of Yoret Sartina, mother of Yoret Solil Belain. Yeah, that checks out. After completing her Olisata, that's a new one. Saylot, Saylet, Saylate. Niece, nephew, etc. So that can go down here with all the familial relations. Still haven't figured out Civil. What did I just see? Olisata. Olisata. No idea what that is. After completing her Olisata near the end of the Fa'anata War, she split from her Talo when he was forced into exile by the usurpation. Okay, so this is Talai. That's what we're talking about here. Oh no, this is Sartina. They're talking about Sartina. After completing her Olisata near the end of the Fa'anat War, she split from her Talo, which would be father, when he was forced into exile by the usurpation of Heir of Beasts. Ah, yes, that makes sense. Her wedding party was performed in secret so as not to attract the attention of the Sinolais, and she and her Varellan lived on the periphery, scouting the edges of Trevosa. In 161, she discovered a new foraging ground that led to the era of plenty. Her Oloth Vol, second child, second son, went on to develop the Masket transit solution that made it even more accessible. Her Oleth children will remember her warmly, and her Oleth Abrow grandchildren, which would be these two, will miss her. So you did what? Develop the Masket transit solution. None of these really say gave everybody horses to me. The gate opener. Oh my god, she's probably the gate opener. One of these two is the gate opener. Probably... No, it's got to be Tal, actually. I didn't even realize that was a thing, but if we look at... Right, yeah, I can't do that. The opening. Yep, the great threshold is open. You are absolutely the gate opener. Thank you for the warning, Devonok. I think I'm just gonna finish this, is where I'm at. And if that takes another hour, then so be it. But I'm not expecting it to take much longer than that. Now that I have learned some words and am picking up steam. Alright, maybe we can find some more about these idiots. Catalog of Beasts, absolutely. Catalog of Beasts by Tamoth Nolveth. Tamoth Nolveth. Do I know a Nolveth? We haven't locked in a Nolveth yet, have we? But they're a Tamoth, apparently. Yefsket, spitty creature with wings. Mostly harmless, but will eat food that is not protected. Sealot, digs blindly in the earth. Useless. Musket, size of a thieve. Person? Soft fur, very clever. There is perhaps an opportunity to use these someday. Efsket. No arms or legs, only spine, scales, and teeth. Too large and dangerous. Fa'anat, small but unflinching, with great strength and many legs. Capable of great coordination. Oh yeah, Nolveth. We know who Nolveth is. With our training, I believe these will be the key to our retaking Trevosa. In the 88th season, Tamoth Nolveth, the Olotho brow of Tamoth Faith. Tamoth Faith. The exile, presumably. I was right. There was the exile, so I'm guessing he is the exile. With an army of mighty many-legged Fa'anat, he marched through the great threshold, opened by someone inside the kingdom, and began a brutal assault. Beasts have never been harnessed for warfare, but Nolveth, Oloth Till of Exile, was heir of beasts. Cool. Does Tilai show up anywhere else? She does. Tamoth Nyreen. Yes. Oleth of Tamoth Nolveth Sinole. And Oleth O'Brow, yep, of Tamoth Tilai give the following decree. My Talo, harness the power of Fa'anat to retake the kingdom. We shall push further. We will train the Yefsket above us to fight, and Efsket below us to forage. We will harness beasts and launch Trevosa into a new era. I have a feeling she's the they are the eccentric. Because they are the ones who kind of got, they got essentially ousted after a couple of months, they said, or a couple seasons. It's too bad I can't look up the eccentric. Because it only works on Trevosan words. Alright, well then, what else is said about Nyreen? Oh, that's everything that's said about Nyreen. Their ideas were so wildly impractical and caused so much chaos, they were deposed after only a few seasons. Alright, what about Sine? Who else is a Sine? When the current Sine dies or is no longer able to perform their duties, their youngest Oleth, who has a bear vate or is betrothed, and has paused their Olesata, has passed their Olesata. Okay, so Olesata is like a coming of age ceremony or something. Coming of age ceremony. And we have some rules about succession. Youngest, married. Past Olisata, so of age, presumably. If they do not have a Oleth that is a suitable heir, then succession passes to their youngest Sevel. Sevel. We've seen Sevol. Sevel. So Sevol, Sevel, and Sevail are gonna be a thing, right? So we have Sevol, Sevel, Sevail, presumably. We'll have to look all of those terms up. Actually, let's start with here. Sevol. Tale Sevol. If not by blood. In-law? Sevol is in-law, maybe? Sevel is only in here. What about Sevail? Unseen at the moment. Succession passes to their youngest in-law, maybe. Till. Ah, counting! Rules of living in Trevosa. Respect the authority of the Sine. Stay out of the train. No, stay out of the rain. Never linger in the open. Keep your voice measured in hollow places. Gather provisions for times of drought. They have a base 4 counting system? Maybe base 5? Ta'el? Ta'il. Mark your trails down unfamiliar paths. Vol. Surround yourself with those you trust. Only Todi sleep without an assigned watcher. Do not explore past the great threshold. Always remember this world is not our own. Yeah, we have down to Ta'ayen here. Okay, so if I hadn't yet figured out that this Till Vol Lay business was numbers, that's here. That's cool. Alright, show me Civil. Letter to Talai. Talai. Dear Talai. Talai. Oh, that's like Talea Talo. Talai would be mother. Letter to mother. Dear Mom, writing to let you know that Lonara and I had a wedding party yesterday. It's been 4 seasons? Play? 4 seasons? Since Lonara completed her Olisata, and we refuse to wait for your blessing any longer. Lisna Belane was generous enough to take on the role during the Varve instead. Where are there other Belanes? This would be the only remaining Belane, huh? Because you're a Belan. All of the Belan are Besit, Limal, Caldosa, Tyrell, Yaron, Solil, someone. Okay. Lisna Belane. So this would be Lisna. Lonara and I had a Varve to bear. refuse to wait for your blessing. I'll repeat again that it's been 3 generations since the restoration, and there's no question of Timoth Varellan's loyalty to Trevosa. Lonara in particular is the Olathe O'Brow of the Quartermaster, whose lineage goes all the way back to the Savol of the Sinai Vol. Savol? Savol? Kind of sped through the game. Congratulations! I am spending a lot of time writing things down and reading. I'm really enjoying this. This is exactly up my alley. How's my journey going? We are at 6 of 30. And I am spending kind of a lot of time trying to figure out the language stuff, although I could probably speed through some of that too. Olathe O'Brow of the Quartermaster, which would be... here? If they're here? Lonara. This is the right... it's probably here, actually. Whose lineage goes all the way back to the Savol of the Sinai Vol. The Savol of the Sinai Vol... I might not know what this means yet. Maybe Savol is cousin? Which would be Tilai? Or if it's in-law, that would be... Selde? Olathe O'Brow of the Quartermaster. I mean, that does track. If it's either of these two, you go back up this way, then, yeah, you are the sibling, the Leveth. The Savol would be the... Ooh. Wait. Savol would be cousin. Would be, oh man, would be male, wouldn't it? I might not know how this word works. Maybe Savol is sibling? But then what is leave? Alright, whatever. Even if none of that were true, it should be enough that Lonara is dedicated, hardworking, and creative, and I love her. I trust you will come to terms with this. Your Oloth Yoret Temig. So a Yoret that marries into this line. So it's either this dude or this dude. So somewhere here, Lisna stands in. Yep. Lisna Belaine was generous enough to take on the role during the Varve instead. So maybe because of the dotted line? I think it's because of the dotted line. I think the dotted line indicates that Lisna is willing to stand in as mother because she is the Carla Sane? Cassarain? Cassarain, I think it would be. Calcerain. There it is. Unfortunately, it doesn't use that word, so I guess I don't know for sure. But it's likely that this is Lonara, this is Temig, and this is the Quartermaster. That is likely. No Savales? There's a Savelle and a Savol, but no Savales. Interesting. All right, what is the next word of choice? What are we gonna look up? Maybe we can look up more about Temig. Oh, just the one, okay. Maybe there's more about Lunara? Nope. Maybe there's more about Lisna? Oh, there's plenty about Lisna. Today was the funeral for Mother. She never recovered after pushing so hard to finish the Great Oltev. Okay, what is an Oltev? She gave it everything and had nothing left for Father and I. After hearing tales of her Olasata, I wanted her to see me complete mine, but that is no longer to be. I suppose that everyone at the funeral would honor her, but I didn't expect the Sino to Ayen and his Varelin to be there. Estin Lisna Bilane pulled me aside and spoke to me. She apologized for everything that our family had to sacrifice for everyone else, and vowed that would not continue. After Talo had his wings clipped by this project, after Father had his wings clipped by this project, she wants to make sure I can pursue my dream. She even offered to be my Kalsarame. Oh, heck yeah. So this is Lunara talking. Today was the funeral for Mother. Pushing so hard to finish the Great Oltev. Talo had his wings clipped by his project. I can see why she was called the nurse. Oh, the nurse. Heck yeah. Oh, so Eston's not the gate, or Tal's not the gate opener? Too bad. I thought I had that. All right, that's fine. I assumed the gate opener was going to be related to the usurper invading, but I guess not. She wants to make sure I can pursue my dream. The nurse back during the battle against the Nisket. Battle against the Nisket? Damn. Promise I will speak with her when I have a better idea of where I want to go in life. The Sino to Ayen earned his moniker of the Stalwart. Cool. By steering Trevosa through the biggest and longest crisis since the Fa'anat War. This crisis was caused by the appearance of the Nisket and the severing of the courier line through the hollow place. We immediately learned that the beast could not stay away from our Musket. When our brave warriors tried to protect the Musket, the Nisket swatted them away with ease. This caused such devastation that attempts to confront the Nisket were quickly abandoned. Lisna Bilane led the efforts to care for the wounded, leading to her moniker, the Nurse. Hey. Let's keep looking for names. Oh, here we go. 30 of 49. My Oloth, so this would be here. Yoret Orleth and his Bervate welcomed their first Oleth today, a beautiful Oloth called Ludir. Yep. The Archivist? The Beautiful? Probably not the Beautiful. The Usurper's Heir, dang. We and the Vive wish them great health on the start of their journey as Talo and Talai. Estin Roal Sino to Avol. Yoret Orleth will ascend to the throne with great hopes for his reign after his Talai Obrau, here, Talai Obrau, the Restorer. Good deal. And his Talo the Prosperous. Yup, it all just lines up. It's coming pretty fast now. That's pretty good. The Vive expect great things from him. All eyes now follow the soon-to-be Sino to Ayen. Yoret Erlov, my far-distant relative. Here? Probably? I am asking you to put your dream on hold. I know there's no greater sacrifice to ask of someone, but we all need the great Oltev to work. It's the only way we have found to avert a famine before we run out of stockpiled food. Your Bervate Tamoth Ervala. Okay, yeah, I'll believe. Erlov and Ervala. Spends every waking minute on excavations, to the point that she's being named after the earth for living underground. The Earthen. Do everything you can to support her in this. We're all counting on you too. Yoret Oreleth Sino Ta'ayen. Unless it's these two, which is also a Yoret and a Tamoth, my far distant relative. Any other Ervalas? The Great Oltev Proposal. Today, the only access to the fertile foraging ground requires moving long distances through open spaces. Yet the arrival of the Nisket stops us from using Masket to carry loads across. I propose we open a new covered route to the foraging ground. An extensive survey is needed, but early examination shows that we could tunnel beneath the massive caverns of the Salam to reach an area very near the foraging grounds, all out of reach of the Nisket. It's a project on a scale the Thive have never attempted, but it may be our best chance. Knowing the severity of the situation, the Sino Ta'ayen directed Thive to find different sources of food. Thive is just people, I think. Some marginal areas were able to be cultivated, but the largest efforts went into scouting for places to forage far away from the Nisket and the Hollow Place. Nothing of note was discovered. The project that led to relief was the Great Oltev. The Masket cannot cross the Hollow Place, so we create closed spaces. As decreed by the Sino Ta'ayen, Yoret Erlov set aside his inventions that were intended to take to the air, and instead spent 7 seasons working beside Tamoth Ervala to build lifts and tunnel a great distance. The Oltev is longer than previous routes, but contains nothing more dangerous than the occasional eyeless sea lot crawling through the tunnel. We no longer need fear losing access to food. Okay. Yeah, the clipped wings definitely make sense there now. Alright, what about Ludir? Oh, that's it? Too bad. To the Great Solam. I'm not an elephant. I don't know how I found this, but thank you anyway. Ludir, first son of Oreleth, the king. The dreadful Nisket lies in wait to destroy, and Thive look to the Solam for an omen. Sent you all of the archives. Learn of our family, all the way back to Estin Orvet. Let your voice silent the Vaiteth who wish for chaos. Okay, what about Erlov? And Ervala? So we've looked at all of them already. What about Yaron? Nope. What about Kuldosa? Estintal Sinai Vol, yep. And her Bervot Limal decree to all the kingdom their full intent to name their Oleath Til Kuldosa as Sinai Yen of Trevosa when she comes of age and completes her Olasata. Those who whisper of her tainted blood as an outsider are Vaiteth to all of the kingdom, definitely traitor. Lemot, where was Lemot? Sino Yen. Here. Tyrael Bilen, the great threshold has been opened, and the Tamoth Vaiteth march forward. Yep. What do you know of Limal? Nothing. Okay. Maybe there's more stuff in Nisket. Finally got the 4th ticket in Galaxy. Wow. That's a lot of gems, dude. 500 gems? Man, I thought it was a real difficult trek to get the third ticket. All of the reports from yesterday's attack are finally in, and here is the synthesized summary. In the early afternoon, the second patrol left as normal to head to the foraging grounds. No incidents occurred while traveling through crevices, but a second after we merged into the hollow place, the team was attacked by a massive monster. It leapt upon us from above, grabbing one of the pack masket and bounding away before we could even think. The other masket bolted back immediately with its rider holding on for dear life. No people were hurt. We are calling it the Nisket. We need to decide what to do next. Transit Solution Report. The Quartermaster is not yet locked in. As requested in Royal Directive Ta'ale. Royal Directive Ta'ale. A mascot has been harnessed to provide rapid transportation as a mount. 169 wins. Wow, good job. That's in Legendary, you mean? Or like all the way up from starting in Gold or whatever? This has allowed mounted gatherers to bring back much greater quantities of food than we have seen prior to this era. The mascot is a mostly docile beast, though stepping on its thin, bald tail can cause it to lash out. The Quartermaster may be young, but has instituted a rigorous training program to train couriers in musket riding and care. This gives us much better access to the food supplies his Talai so famously found. His mother found food? Food finder? Talai to all, maybe? Unclear. Sartina. Alright, let's look up Sartina. Whatever the stats screen shows. Okay, fair enough. I will not live to see Yoret Varelin restored to be Sine. Live well regardless. May you find a Bervot. They didn't. Bervate or Bervet that mixes and rises with you like the smoke of a candle. Trust in the goodness of all Solam and heed their omens. Let it be written that I was vanquished in battle, but never in spirit. Lemot's last words. Yeah, alright. They never found... Interesting. They never found a spouse, so they weren't considered a valid heir, even after Nyreen was ousted. Alright, what about a moth? Well, let's finish the rest of this, I guess. Yoret Sartina, Oleith of Yoret Lemot and Yoret Tyrael, has found a huge supply of food. She is the Wayward no longer. She was the Wayward, though. Ah, I was right about the clipped wings. Great. Alright, is there anything I was wrong about now that we have those locked in? No. The new Solam Varelin grants us bread and other staples near the hollow place. The food is very far from our home, so a council should be called to determine the best action. Alright, let's see if anything comes up for Amath. Your Royal Highness Estin Amath Sinai Ta'il. I was initially skeptical of appointing your Oloth Vols Bervate. Oloth Vols Bervate as head of couriers. Yoret Morfal has just recently passed his Olesata, and I thought the role would be too much for someone without extensive experience. Very glad to have been incorrect. Morfal. The Masket Courier program has been successful beyond any reasonable expectation, in no small part due to Morfal's diligence and training. The Quartermaster title bestowed for his services no longer seems enough. Maybe the throne can bestow additional gifts during his upcoming to bear to Tamoth Narset. Ah, Narset. Do we have names for everybody at this point? think everybody is now named. Hot dog. All right, we still need to figure out a lot of titles, though. Security Minister. While the Tamoth Varellan was behind the Fa'anat War and following disasters, not all of them were complicit. Like all large Varellan, there are many branches. Some chose to stay out of the conflict. Narset comes from one of those branches. As far as we can tell, she chose to live on the outskirts, stay out of factional politics for generations. Narset herself is eccentric compared to most nobles. Oh, she's the eccentric? Choosing to sew her own clothes even though she can easily pay for a tailor. However, she shows no sign or links to any potential rebellion. So the guards have no objection to her wedding to Morphal. What about Yaron? Did we look at Yaron? Okay. What about Sinai Ta'ayil? Too bad. What am I still missing? 7 documents. All right, let's just start searching on random terms, because there are a bunch of random terms. Let's look for Tisate. After the success of the Great Oltev, efforts were made to explore other deep chasms. In the depths of one chasm, in a den of Sealoth, the surveyors found the royal scepter that was forged for the Sinai Till, but disappeared during the War of Fanat. We curators were ecstatic at the find and spent an entire season cleaning and restoring it. Inscribed on the scepter are the words, "The Concord secures the rule of the rightful Sinai." Funny that the opening note is like there are some terms which are cultural and can't be translated, but they're basically just English words. Yeah, it's mostly just English words. Return prompted the original founding Concord and rules of succession to be fetched from the Taisate. Founding Concord and rules of succession are both documents that I have already found, which led to chaos in the court upon the determination that no Sinai since the Sino-Yen has been a legitimate descendant and heir of the Sinai Till, including the Restorer and her line. The Sino-Ta'ayen stood firm, decreeing that for the stability of Trevosa, his line will continue to rule. Only if there is no suitable heir will the crown and scepter be returned to the line of the Sinai Till. Which would be Morphal's branch, because he is the youngest here. Yeah, because Orelith is an appropriate heir descendant of Amath. Oh. Estin Orvet was crowned as Great Uniter and Sinai Till of Trevosa. With the exile of Fife and his followers to the Field of Beasts, the kingdom is safe and Thive will prosper. Orvet, in her wisdom, has ushered in the first era of United Trevosa, the era of temperance. Yep. On this joyous day of your wedding, allow me to say a few words to Corvin's new wife, Selde. I've never heard you speak ill of my leave-off. I have barely heard you speak at all. Oh. Yup. Yeah, just anytime you hear a description of someone, that's probably their title. You do seem enamored with Corvin's beauty. Oh. Nearly as much as he is. That seems an excellent foundation for a long and fruitful relationship. Oh my god, dude. Ta'al is so bitter. I wish you both get exactly what you deserve. Wow. Wow. So much drama. That's wild. 4 more documents. You think that was Bashil? I definitely think that was Ta'al. 100% think that was Ta'al. Oh, it was Bashil's speech. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Bashil the Sassy. I don't think the Sassy is an option here. It does say Bashil's speech. Do we have information about Bashiel? Your absence at my wedding. No one will ask why Bashiel was off on an expedition, chasing Yefsket, or whatever it is you do. You the explorer? You might be the explorer. Will you let your bitterness taint our bloodline? What else do I think we can look up? I think we looked up Viteth. Maybe there's more Sinves. Nope. Fsket does not come up that much. Aha. Selde. I'm not a toady. What the hell? The hell is a toady? I know where these rumors about me originated. Toady, I think, is idiot, actually. Your outward visage of a kind and quiet to lie. Kind and quiet mother is as flimsy as your husband's vain beauty. In reality, he is insecure, and you are a Fsket. My days of exploration have passed. Yeah, she's definitely the explorer. And yet the rumblings of my disloyalty continue. They say I might open the great threshold at any moment. No, I am not friends with exiles. If you fear a betrayal at the hands of Varellan, I suggest you look elsewhere. Alright, let's look up Toady. Oh, really? Too bad. I don't know how Ta'al is not the gate opener. Ta'al is definitely the gate opener. Missing 3 documents. Olisata and Oltev are potential search terms. Nope. We could also search all of the numbers and see what comes up. Till, Vol, Lay, then, Ta'a, Ta'il, Ta'avol, Ta'ale, Ta'aven. I think that's as many as we know. I don't think we know any more numbers than Ta'aven. Wait, maybe we do, actually. There was, like, the rules, right? Ooh, Ta'ara. Til vol yen lay, ta'a ta'il, ta'vol ta'yen ta'lay. Ta'ara is the next one up. That's interesting. I've tried Sine. Only Toady sleep without an assigned watcher. Okay. We can try Sino. Or Sinai. We can try Talo. Ooh. Ode to the Curator. The first Curator. That is Oliel. Talo to a Olaith Till. And a Calcerom to 3. Nera Sine. But they he directed. Trevosa shall forever in his debt be. His words shall be recalled and collected. Oh, it's a poem. On the desk of Yoret Oliel. Alright. Tale? Talai? Great. 2 more documents. Alright, we might want to show the undiscovered hints. These are a lot of words. Yevsket? Maybe the other gendered versions of this word? Nope. Orvet, Sinai Till. Belial? Oh, Yoret found something. Wild. Seasons before the unification of Trevosa, the three Varelen each had their own domain. Estin had the open and hollow places, Yoret had the crevices and pathways, and Tamoth had the edge of the kingdom bordering the field of beasts. Tamoth Fife's exile in this sense is almost a return home. One more document. Roal found tutoring notes. Estin Arna is sweet and energetic, but an unfocused student. She's much more at home outside chasing Yevsket. She attempts to be studious, but she clearly lacks the focus for true scholarly greatness. Her Levoth, Estin Roal, is much more academic and loves to challenge what he reads. While this can be tiresome during lessons, I believe it will make him an excellent Sine and administrator. All right, well, we've now found everything. So all that's left is to figure out what the roles are. Ludir is mentioned here and in the signal. Temig is mentioned exactly here. Lenara and I had a wedding. In 4 seasons since Lenara completed her Olasata, we refuse to wait for your blessing any longer. Repeat again that it's been 3 generations since the restoration. 1, 2, 3. There's no question of Tamoth Varelin's loyalty to Trevosa. Lenora in particular, Lenara, is the Oleath O'Brow of the Quartermaster, whose lineage goes all the way back to the Sivol of the Sinai Vol. I think it's in-law. I think Sivol is in-law. But in this case, the Sinai Vol would be Ta'al. And Sivol is male-gendered, so it's probably referring to Corvin. Unless it's referring to Lemot. Oh, you're right. I definitely was. That is a good point, Dalek. It doesn't matter anymore because we found all the documents, but yeah, you're right. We know who the usurper is. That's Nolveth, so you have to be the usurper's heir. Is Kuldosa the gate opener then? The tall. The true heir? Oh, if I have to determine who the true heir is, it's probably Lonara. Since she is married and has passed her thing. So Lonara's got to be the true heir. The true heir to Orvet, according to the laws of succession. Which we do know are... Although we still haven't figured out what Sevel is. Maybe Savell is sibling? But, like, Levith is sibling. I don't know. You could be the newlywed. Ludir's probably the false heir, then. If Lenar is the true heir, then Ludir is the false heir. The Bloodless. Oh, yeah, okay. Yup. Yup. Okay, great. When is Lamal mentioned? That's not helpful. Lamal. Talai's probably the Forgotten, honestly. My Talo harness the power of Fa'ana to retake the kingdom. You shall push further. Nice try, lady. The Vanquished. Oh, you've got to be the Vanquished because you lost to Nolvath. What else do we have? Talai to all. Who's left who could be the mother of all? Not a whole lot of people, actually. Eston? Or Ta'al, maybe? Good guesses! Now we're on the Gate Opener, the Newlywed, and the Tall. Well, the only person who could be the Gate Opener is Limal, because that's the only place that the Gate Opener makes sense in terms of the generations. So Yaron has to be the Tall, and you are the Newlywed. And that's the game. Thank you, Solam. Although this is not the answer that I or my Talo would have wished, without a Bervet, I cannot claim the crown or scepter. So it passes to cousin. I think Civil is cousin. Lonara Sine Ta'ale will be a dedicated ruler and bring stability to Trevosa. Although the Vive are beneath you in every sense, your care for our history is apparent. Thank you. I have one last request. Please watch where you tread and keep your furry Nisket well fed. The end. Cool. You get the Gate Opener through the prophecy. One we call Verelen will open the Great Threshold and devastation will follow. Yeah, I assumed that Ta'al was the Gate Opener, actually. Because there was the, Which one was it? The opening. Oh god, stop. This one, right? The Great Threshold is open. Take your Fa'anat army and march into the kingdom. So long as my Oleath Till becomes B-Lane, I will welcome the invasion. I assumed this was Ta'al, because Ta'al was made a lot of fuss about Kaldosa being the heir. And then, like, Corvin had to write letters to Ta'al about nobody will accept your bloodless daughter as heir because she doesn't have a family or whatever. Her eulogy said she was mother to all. Oh, really? The death of Ta'al. She will be remembered as a caring Talai to all of Trevosa. Yep. Yep. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I wasn't thinking about titles for a decent chunk of the game, especially all of the early stuff I read. So I probably missed a bunch of the early clues because I wasn't in the right mindset of like, oh, they are saying anything that is descriptive of this person. That's probably a title. I should have figured that out sooner. But yeah, all right, that checks out. Good call. All right, well, that's that. It's a better way to go through the game? Probably. I don't know, who knows? Archive 50 of 50. Ah, yes, the 50th would be the final note. Yeah, this game was sick. This was really good. Like, you know, short and maybe not as many, like, cool reveals as in a more long-form game. But, very enjoyable to go through. I really liked all the language stuff. I'm a sucker for language stuff, though. That's definitely my thing. All right. Well, that did, in fact, take about an hour longer than I hoped it was going to. Immerse yourself in the story more than just you're tall, you must be the tall. Yeah, I definitely... When was your own called the tall? With your upcoming to Bear to Soleil, that's not the one I'm looking for. This one? Remember how Yaron stood a full head above everyone else. Yep, right there. Right, yep. He is definitely the tall. It's right there. It's right in the text. He's tall. He must be the tall. So dumb. So dumb. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the titles, but this is still a lot of fun to go through. This is a really good time. I very much appreciate this game. All right. Well, on that note, yeah, we're cutting it off. This is the end of everything. Thank y'all for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed Ilekhead, and I hope you enjoyed the Archive of Trevosa. I had quite a good time with both of these games. So thank y'all for being here and hanging out and chatting with me during my continued struggles.